Yo, did I wait for my podcast to reach its 4th episode to make the 4th episode of To Leave a Toxic Job? I guess we'll never know. Nah, I'm too dumb to do stuff like this. I'm not smart enough to think that far ahead. I just didn't have any time on my hands actually. But what better occasion to release the 4th and to shamelessly plug in my podcast. This said, go listen and watch my podcast. I'm an amazing host with a beautiful voice. Whether you're in a long trip, need your parents to think you're watching TV while gobbling on someone's private parts, or just can't be left alone with your thoughts, AdCast works for every possible situation. You're welcome. Getting back to the actual thing you clicked on though, last time we spoke I gave you context, mostly about the 3Ds, Satan, Lucifer, and Amber Heard. Let's now get back to actual stories, because my whole aim here is to give you an idea of my experience and how fucking ludicrous it was there. And honestly, after all this time has passed and everything that's happened, it's kind of a chore to go back to remembering all the shit I went through. The reason I'm doing this is to tell you all to not tolerate bullshit like this, to not accept toxic working environments, and about that shit that they'll tell you that grass is greener elsewhere. It's not even green here. It's not grass. It's cold, stiff, lifeless concrete. And I want many of you who would consider going there to know how it's actually run, so that you might know what they actually put first. So yeah, would I rather move on to other projects? Absolutely. I can't do the same thing for very long as a personality trait. But wouldn't that let them get away with it? And it's about time we stop corporations from getting away with their bullshit. And the irony of me recording this on Labor Day. I'm not at all doing this because I'm a vindicative little bitch. No. I'm a good guy. In the last Sensical episode, I spoke about how I started on the best of terms with my then manager. So today, let's develop that evolution of that relationship. Following the altercation, for lack of a better term, my role became quite odd. I was heavily monitored, but honestly, that's not the worst that could happen given the whole situation. Plus, I perform well, so you'd be hard-pressed to blame me for anything, really. And the dude must have absolutely seen me as a living, breathing problem under his watch. Actually, maybe I'm the problem. I cannot be managed. Kanye lives in me. And that's when the I don't mind helping part of the job kicked in. From the start, my manager would warn me against the 3Ds, as I seem to be someone who likes helping. No, I don't. Dumbass. I just want to get shit done. And clearly, most of them are unable to do anything. So, I'll fucking do it. For the sake of people paying for the whole experience, to actually get a bit of it. You know, put someone first or something like that. And his point was that if you help now, they'll be so happy. But as soon as you can't keep doing it for whatever reason, and it's completely your right to do so, they'll say you are the bad guy. Which he was right about. Thing is, he is just as guilty of doing this. My paid role relating to social media quickly got linked to admissions and various queries. I don't mind helping, but is that what I'm paid for? Because let's remember, that's just a job. And being young, it's so much harder for you to put your foot down and tell someone, stop exploiting me. But when I finally did, that's when he told me that, as per my contract, I'm expected to do beyond the job description, as long as it's allocated by my manager. All contracts have that bullshit line. And I want to make this clear. That shit means that if you want me to mop the place, I'm supposed to. Given how you're phrasing it, how is that fair? That asterisk in contracts is slavery with extra steps. All the irony of warning me against something you would do yourself. At the same time, I was learning about the power structure of the whole place and being told slowly but surely about everyone being scared of the 3Ds. Which wouldn't make sense to me just then. Right? I was useful enough that I'd be in the good books. What can I say? Suffering from success. I'm a pretty likable dude. At the same time, students would also see me as a go-to. I was, after all, about their age. I look like what I look. I should never have shaved my head. And I was not totally playing in the corporation bullshit. So, again, quite likable. Important tidbit of info, another staff my age would join right around then. Let's nickname them G, like the letter or the spot, who basically became my work twin, and through whom I would slowly open my eyes to the 3D. But I'll develop further in the next episode. Then came the probation review. In case you don't know, most, if not all jobs, hire you with probation period. Usually 6 months. And after that you're either confirmed or thanked and shown the door. Given my performance, it would have been hard to straight up tell me to fuck off. But given my tense relationship with my line manager, and him hating the proximity between me and the 3Ds, I figured he would pull some shit. Come the meeting, there's me, there's the manager, and the director's assistant. Cause yeah, they don't have HR. Side note, if you go for a job without an HR, that's a pretty big red flag. Get out. So, in the meeting, he tells me how well I've performed and how much I've learned. Disclaimer, he didn't teach me shit. And thus, he had decided to extend my probation by 3 months. I think even the director's assistant was confused by this. Above all else, it couldn't be justified work-wise, so the reason was, did you want me to quit or to push me to quit? Feels like abuse of power to me. But you know, having no HR and all, we investigated ourselves and found that we did nothing wrong. What can I do at that point? And choose my extension period, which would, spoiler alert, lead to my confirmation. It wasn't even my manager's call, but rather the director's. So, plot twist, yes and no. Again, I'm likable and perform well. But then, it was time to celebrate that confirmation. And who else but my closest friends to host a party for me, the 3Ds themselves. And that's a story for the next episode. So be sure to follow the whole series, and I'll see you soon for leaving a toxic job. Yo.